what's up, everybody? Steve Schwartz here from LSAT Unplugged, joining you today to share my prediction about when LSAC will remove the current logic games section. Before I get into it, a little bit about LSAT Unplugged. We offer live online classes via Zoom, on-demand video courses, small group coaching, and one-on-one coaching. Check out the links below this video to find out more and to book a call with me and my team. We would love to help you out with your LSAT prep. For those who aren't aware, there are some major changes coming to the LSAT sometime in the relatively near future. The reason being that LSAC got sued by a blind test taker, Angelo Bino, who contended that he was at an unfair disadvantage on the LSAT because he couldn't benefit from diagramming logic games the way that most other test takers can. Reasonable point if you think about it. I mean, try doing logic games with no diagramming at all and see how far you get. Even me personally, I've got a diagram I couldn't do without it. LSAC settled the lawsuit with him and agreed to complete research and development into a new version of the exam without the current logic games section. This lawsuit was settled in fall 2019. We are now, of course, in 2023, so that 4-year period of research and development into that new version of the LSAT without the current games section is almost over. LSAC has already taken action on that research and development piece. They've completed a few logic games experimental sections, testing out a new version of logic games that will replace the current logic games section. They did this on the June 2022 LSAT. They did this on the November 2022 LSAT, and they even had a field study in December 2022, giving some test takers a sneak peek at what the new version of the logic games section might look like. LSAC moves slowly and deliberately, and so I don't expect to see the current logic game section change anytime this year. They still have more research and development to complete in terms of looking at what that new logic game section might look like. And they do have until fall 2023 to complete that research and development. Now, when will the new logic game section come out? When will it replace the current logic game section? My best guess would be in mid-2024, specifically July 2024. Why do I think this? Well, first off, LSAC announces any major changes to the LSAT far in advance to give test takers plenty of time to prepare for whatever the new LSAT version might be. We saw this most notably with the June 2007 LSAT, when LSAC added the dual or comparative reading comp passages. The LSAT used to have 4 long reading comp passages. You'll notice that with the exam from June 2007 and beyond, the LSAT now has 3 long passages and 2 short dual/comparative passages on a related topic. LSAC also announced far in advance that they were going to move the LSAT from being on paper to being digital on a tablet with the July 2019 LSAT. So we see 2 announcements far in advance, both implemented in the middle of that year. For the reading comp change in 2007, it was with the June 2007 LSAT. With the move to the digital LSAT, it was in July 2019. The move to the online LSAT due to the pandemic was not announced far in advance, but of course that was outside anyone's control, and LSAC had to move quickly without a ton of prior notice. They did cancel the March 2020 LSAT as well as the April 2020 LSAT, and they then implemented the online LSAT in May 2020. So they did make those announcements in a shorter time frame, but that was all they could do. When they can, they announce things far in advance. And LSAC has known about this logic games change for nearly 4 years now. So they've had plenty of time to work on it, and they will be able to announce it far in advance since this is not an emergency situation. Now, why do I think July 2024? Because the LSAT testing cycles now run from July to June of the following year. So the digital LSAT change was implemented starting in July 2019 because July is the beginning of what LSAC measures to be the testing year. So July 2024 will be, again, another new LSAT testing year. Maybe they will run some big experiment in July 2024 as they did for the digital LSAT. We will see. They've already been able to test out the new versions of logic games in June 2022, in November 2022, and then again in December 22 with the voluntary logic games field study. So for those of you prepping for the LSAT now, watching this video as I record it in late March 2023, you have plenty of time to take the LSAT, master it, be done with it in the rest of this calendar year before any major changes to the logic games section. You could take the LSAT in June, you could take it in August, you could take it in September, and still apply this cycle. Of course, you could even take it October, November if you want. I do recommend for those watching this now or in the near future, taking the LSAT with the current logic game section, because you have nearly 400 released logic games you can practice on in the current style of logic games. We don't know exactly what the new version of games will look like. LSAC has not released any samples yet, although presumably they will. But even when they do, there will be only a handful of those to practice on, in contrast to the 400 or so logic games that have already been released. So the devil you know is better than the devil you don't, in my opinion, regarding this case with their logic games. To enable you to prep as thoroughly as possible, I recommend prepping with the version of the exam available now that has far more practice material available to you than whatever the new games version might be. Of course, when samples and information regarding the new version of the logic games section are released by LSAC, I will start creating prep materials covering that new version, and I will get it out as quickly as possible to everyone watching this, and of course, in more depth inside my video courses and live online classes via Zoom. Again, check out the links below to find out more about those. But in the meantime, we're focusing on the current logic game section for those of you taking the LSAT this year. Inside LSAT Unplugged, again, we have live classes via Zoom covering games, reasoning, reading comp, showing you how to review better for the current version of the LSAT. When the new version of games is released, of course, we will switch to covering that as well for those taking the version of the LSAT with that style of logic games. If you'd like my help, if you'd like my team's help, please click the links below this video to find out more and to book a call with me and my team. We'd love to help you out. And if you found this video helpful, please like the video, leave a comment, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. It really helps with that YouTube algorithm, and I really do appreciate it. In the meantime, I wish you all the best and take care. Thanks for tuning into the show. Please subscribe if you haven't done so already to be notified of new episodes as I release them, and feel free to reach out if you need anything at all as you move forward with your prep. I'm happy to help however I can. In the meantime, I'll wish you all the best and take care.